Hi, my name is Ben. Welcome to Ben's Language Lab. As we know, stories with pictures like this are great for language learning. And so we're going to be reading a comic book together. This video is meant for English beginners, more or less. And if you need, there are subtitles available, or you can see the entire transcript on benslanguagelab.com. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this one. But for now, your job is to watch, listen, and enjoy. We're going to continue reading Tintin and Red Rackham's Treasure. This is the second episode in the second series, and if you want to start from the beginning, click the link in the description. Last time, we had just met this man, who's a little deaf. He's hard of hearing. And he wanted to talk to Tintin, and we wonder why. So Tintin comes up to him and says, "I'm Tintin. What do you want?" "Ah, Mr. Tintin, they told me you were away," he says, because that's what he thought he heard. "I'm delighted to meet you. My name is Calculus, Cuthbert Calculus." "Oh?" says Tintin. He's introducing himself. That's who he is. Calculus normally is like complicated math. Oh, my thingy just shut down. You can't see my drawing anymore. What the heck is going on? Things are happening right now. Let me see if I can fix this live on stage. Are we here now? Testing, testing. 1, 2. Oh no, things have gone wrong. Can you see my drawing? Yes. Okay, we're good. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Sorry. Anyways, calculus is complicated math, basically. And so he's got something to do with math. And then the man says, "No, calculus. Cuthbert Calculus." Because he's deaf. He hears Tintin say, "Oh," right? "Mr. Tintin, I understand that you are setting off in search for a treasure. That's nice. But have you considered the sharks?" "The sharks?" Doo-doom, doo-doom. Right, sharks in the water. With their tail, their big fish, their fin. There's their fin. They have lots of teeth, right? Big sharks in the water. And so they go, "Sharks?" Yeah, that's where we are. And then, "No, young man, I'm talking about the sharks. I expect you do intend to do some diving, in which case, beware of sharks," he says. "But don't you agree? But I've invented a machine for underwater exploration, and it's shark-proof. If you'll come with me to my house, I'll show it to you," he says. So this man is very worried about sharks, and he knows that Tintin is going to dive underwater. That's when you go deep underwater, right? You can't just hold your breath. You have a helmet, and you have air on your back, and you go down under the water. And so he has a machine, like a contraption, a boat that is shark-proof. Sharks can't get in. They go, right? Something that's proof means you can't get into it, right? So if you have something that's baby-proof, a baby can't get inside, right? So when you have a toddler in the house, you have to baby-proof the doors, the cabinets, the stairs, things like that, so the babies don't kill themselves. And so he invites Tintin back to his house to show him his shark-proof thing. Tintin says, "I'm very sorry, but..." "No, it's not far, less than 10 minutes. He's not hearing anything Tintin's saying. "No, it's not far" is not what Tintin asked. And so Tintin says, I'm afraid I'm very busy, and the man says, "Why, of course, certainly these gentlemen may come too." And then Tintin gets upset now. He says, "It's no good. There's no time. No time." And so then the man says, "Good, that's settled. We'll go at once." And so Tintin goes, "What? Are you crazy? He's not listening to me." But because Tintin's very nice, they all go along with calculus. And he says, "I'm so glad you agreed to come. I'm so glad you agreed to come," he says. And they're all upset, right? You see Tintin's face. He's, and Haddock is also angry, and the two Thompsons in the back. And then Tintin says, no, please don't mention it. Because he's upset, and that's like, don't mention it is a way you can say, oh, don't mention it. It's fine, right? But in this case, it's don't mention it. And then he says, no, calculus, Cuthbert calculus. He's very upset that he doesn't hear anything that he's saying. You see, here we are, one more floor, he says. It's in here. And they walk into his laboratory. This is a lab. A lab is a place where you do experiments and you build things and you make stuff. Here he's got something where for what looks to be distilling, right? Stuff goes inside and it comes out. There's big machines, levers. There's pipes on the wall. There's lamps. There's a desk with scrolls and writing utensils and all sorts of stuff and things. And that's a lab. Much like I have Ben's language lab, or laboratory is the long version of the word. So it's in here. Yes, that's the new device for putting bubbles in soda water, he says. And that's what he's pointing at this piece here, which is what we'd call now is carbonation. So when you have CO2 and you put it into water, right, that's carbon, and then it goes into water, it becomes bubbly. It might be it sort of is spicy almost. It touches your tongue and it makes your tongue feel like it's moving almost. And so this is a machine for putting bubbles in soda water, he says, which is soda water is sparkling water. And that's a machine for and that's a clothes brushing machine, he says, which is, I don't even know what clothes brushing is, but he's got a machine for it. And Haddock says, not a bad gadget, eh? And we have there's brushes on here, and there's a motor, and there's a belt on here, all sorts of stuff to make a contraption, a machine. But let's see. No, a clothes brushing machine. It's one of my latest inventions, he says. And then we hear, ouch, oh. And then Tintin turns around and starts to go back, but the man is saying, the clothes are sucked into the middle of the machine where they have a stiff brushing for half a minute. Then they come out good as new. So it must be a way to just brush off clothes. But then we see poor Haddock has been sucked inside. And then he gets spit out the other side. And all of his clothes are torn into shreds. And billions of bullious blue blistering barnacles, he says, is very upset. Yelling at the man, you man. He's very upset because he was sucked into the machine. And then we see Thompson and Thompson are laughing at him, and he says, "Let me go. I'll tell you what I'll tell you what I can't read. I'll tell him what I think of his practical joke," he says. And so a practical joke is a physical thing you do to somebody to make a joke, right? When you tell a joke, right, it's something like knock knock. Who's there? Owl. Owl who? Who? No, that's not how it goes. Whatever. Anyway. I can't believe I just did that. Whatever. A practical joke is a real life thing. So setting a trap for somebody or whatever. And so he's calling it a practical joke, and he's going to go tell him something. You're going to buy me a new outfit, do you hear? Says, that? Yes, it's for brushing clothes, says the man. But this is even more ingenious, because I have so little room, and my bed gets in the way. He's just talking and talking, because he can't hear anything. He's completely deaf. Their words just mean nothing. And he says, but he has a good invention, because he has little space, and so if he pulls down the lever, his bed comes out the wall. I designed the wall bed. This should have a W here. Oops. Come on now. Let's see. There we go. Wall bed. It's a W. I designed the wall bed, he says, and opens the bed, and it goes and smashes the Thompsons right on the top of the head. You bashy bazooka, look what you've done now, says Haddock, yelling at him. Because he's smashing everybody, he's hurting everybody who's come to his place. Nowadays, we'd call this a Murphy bed. Murphy bed. Oh, geez. Murphy. I can't write. Murphy bed. There we go. That's Ben. I'm sorry. I'm having a day today, I guess. I can't write. I can't read. I'm saying ridiculous things. But anyways. You bragging nitwick, you look! A nitwick is a stupid person. A dummy, right? You bragging dummy, you look! And bragging is somebody who is talking about themselves a lot, right? I'm so amazing. I have all of these amazing inventions. And then, of course, he doesn't hear him, and he thinks he says, how do you close it? How do I close it again? There. And he presses the lever, and the bed closes with the Thompsons inside. So Haddock goes, no! And he pulls the lever back again. Between ourselves, I wouldn't have expected such childish pranks from them. They looked quite sensible, is what he says. And so he's saying that it's their fault, saying they're doing the pranks, which are childish, right? They're things that children would do. And a prank is, again, sort of like a practical joke or a game or something like that. And then the man continues and goes, and here's my apparatus for exploring the seabed. As you can see for yourselves, it's kind of a small submarine. It's powered by an electric motor, and it has oxygen supplies for 2 hours diving, he says. And we see the machine. It looks like a shark. That is a shark. It is a submarine powered by an electric motor. Submarine, yeah. Submarine is one of those, that goes under the water, right? Sub, if we break it down, is actually like below. So if you have sub something, it means below something else, right? A subtitle. There we go. You have your title at the top, title, and then your subtitle, right? Below the title. It's also where the subtitles on a video come from, right there at the bottom. They're called subtitles. And then marine is like for the water or the ocean in English. And so it's below the ocean surface in this case, which is a machine that goes underwater for exploring the sea bed, the bed of the sea, the bottom of the sea. And it has an electric motor, so and it works on electricity, so light, not gas. And it has enough oxygen, which is O2, right? Oxygen for breathing, for 2 hours. So in it, you can breathe for 2 hours and go underwater. Now I'll show you how the apparatus works. I don't know if I've explained the word apparatus, but that's basically the same as machine or thing in this case, right? You can say machine or thing works. Now I'll show you how the thing works. He climbs up the ladder here and is getting inside the cockpit. Here's the cockpit. And he gets in it and crack! And it crashes right down. I can't understand it. It's sabotage. No, sir. I said it's sabotage. Someone has sabotaged my machine. Is what he's saying. It's not his fault. Somebody else broke his shark. Is what he's saying. Sabotage means that somebody else came in and and broke it and then left. Right? So it didn't look broken, but it was broken. That's sabotage. And then we get back into Tintin is talking. We are extremely sorry, Professor Calculus. Extremely sorry, but your machine will not do. He says it's not going to work because it's broken. And then he says, for two, you'd like a two-seater? Two-seater? Is what he's saying. Tintin's trying to say, no, thank you. We don't want your machine. It's okay. And he's just happy as can be, saying, yeah, you want another one? I'll make you one. Ugh, ridiculous. And then Tintin says, no, Professor Calculus. I said your machine won't do for us. Oh, good, he says. Well, gentlemen, that's agreed. I'll make another smaller one. It'll be ready in 8 days' time, he says. In 8 days. And so they all leave looking dejected. Ugh, he's not understanding. He's not listening. He can't hear. Ugh. Anyways, some days later, and Haddock says, "Well, we're all ready to start at least, if we can find a diving suit. I spent 3 days hunting through marine stores, and I still haven't unearthed one." Her. And so he's saying they're all ready. Everything's ready to go, except they need a diving suit. They need something to put on to go underwater. And he's gone for 3 days in marine stores, right? Submarine, right? Ocean stores, boat stores, marine stores, and hasn't found a single one. There's no diving suits available. But then we see right here, it says, "For sale, complete diving equipment as new." And then Tintin says, "I say, look there. Great snakes. Let's go and see." And so they go into this store, which apparently has a complete diving suit for sale. And so they walk into this store and they see all of these crazy marine things: a boat, what looks to be a swordfish, a mermaid, all sorts of stuff on the walls. And then Haddock says, "We'd like to see the diving equipment, please." "The diving suit? Please follow me," says the old man. Here's the old man, and Haddock is talking to him. He wants to see the stuff, right? He wants to buy it. "There," he points to it. "Beware, young fellow, beware. Money is the root of all evil," is what the old man says to him. As he's looking at the diving helmet, right? That's what goes on your head, so it's a helmet. And Haddock says, Why do you say that?" Because he's talking about money being the root of all evil. What? "You see, why? Because I see that you intend to go treasure hunting," says the man. "Treasure hunting." And he's afraid that they're going to have problems, right? Because money is the root of evil, like badness. And then he says, "You can see that? Where? Where can you see it?" "I read it on your face," is what he says. He's reading his face, right? When you have something on your face that somebody can tell, right? You're surprised, or you're scared. Ooh, you can read it on your face like a book. And then he says, "Oh, my face, but what's unusual about my face? Tintin, can you see anything?" And, "Well, blistering barnacles," he says as he looks in the mirror. Ah! "What happened? What's wrong, Haddock?" "It's horrible. What's happened to me?" he says as he's looking into one of those mirrors that's like curved. And then he goes, "Nothing, Captain. It's just that you were looking into a concave mirror. Here's a convex one." "Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness," he says. So concave is something that sort of curves inwards, right? Concave, and then convex is something that goes outwards. Those are not words you need to know, but just know that this is the concave one and this is the convex one. And he goes, "Oh, thank goodness." And then he says, "But there's another mirror. I'll just reassure myself." And then he goes to grab the mirror and he falls, which is bad luck. And he says, 7 years bad luck and £2 for the mirror. That's money. So he's saying, "You owe me for that mirror. You broke it. You have to pay for it now." Because there's a superstition that if you break a mirror, you're going to have 7 years of bad luck. And then the man says, "You can take it from me. I'm telling you the truth. There's no such thing as buried treasure nowadays." And he's warning them against going. And then he's saying, "Don't go. Money is the root of all evil, yada, yada, yada." And then Tintin says, "Never mind that. How much is the diving suit?" £10, says the man. So it's 5 times more expensive than a mirror, right? This one was £2 and this one is £10, and that's only a little bit more expensive. And he says, "All right, we'll have it collected this afternoon. Shall we go, Captain?" And that means, so collected is somebody's going to come by and get it for them. They're not going to drag it out right now. They're going to come back with a car or something like that. And then they're going to leave. Yeah. So we're actually going to leave it there for today. And we're going to have to figure out what happens next time in the next day. Right here it is. Next day in the next episode. So make sure you subscribe Make sure you subscribe if you want to watch the next episode, and comment down below with how it went. What did you learn today? Remember, transcripts for all episodes are on benslanguagelab.com. I'll see you next time. Bye!